It's beginning to look a lot like Drag Race everywhere you go. Quite literally, because there's one Drag Race franchise in almost every country. Hello everyone, my name is Roberto Cristian, but you may call me Robbie for short, and today we're doing a holiday-themed episode of our Drag Race Pokémon series. Once upon a time, there was a Drag Race holiday special in which 8 of the franchise's contestants competed to become America's first Drag Race Christmas Queen. Fortunately, all 8 queens in the RuPaul's Drag Race Holi-Slay Spectacular ended up as the winners. So, let's do an invitational Pokémon Contest style showcase with teams of 2 each. Make sure you subscribe to watch more Drag Race crossovers as well as more Pokémon content coming your way. Also, you like my holiday Ditto shirt? I got it online at the Pokémon Company store. Wow! And without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with our first holiday queen, Eureka. You found it! She is one of our Elite 4 members to come from the All-Star 6 video. However, we won't have type specialties here as we are going for a holiday theme here. The first Pokemon is Mamoswine, based on her self-branded title of Elephant Queen. This holiday special happened years before her appearance on All-Star 6, from which I gave her a ground-type specialty. Mammoths are the ancestors of elephants, so an Ice-type mammoth Pokemon just made sense. Her second Pokemon is Chingling, based on her non-denominational Christmas runway. Chingling is categorized as the Bell Pokemon, which I took as a representation of the Jingle Bell song. This was an especially good choice, given that the red and gold colors match this Pokemon's color scheme. I can imagine Eureka opening the show, entering the stage while riding on her Mamoswine alongside her Chingling. She could start the show with a Christmas carol. Maybe she performs Jingle Bell Rock. Oh, Mean Girls, you have forever made your mark on the world. Get those chestnuts away from her face and toss them into a warm crackling fire instead. Latrice Royale hails from Season 4, from which she got 4th place, making her an Elite 4 member in her home region. Her first Pokemon is Cinccino, based on her entrance look. Wintertime is associated with snow, and I enjoy how the dress resembles the winter coat around its body. Her second Pokemon is Bisharp, based on her non-denominational Christmas runway. This dress reminds me of Nutcrackers, specifically because of the details on her chest. Bisharp has the closest design to a Nutcracker that I could think of, plus the red color scheme just made sense. I can imagine them performing a color guard adaptation of the Nutcracker, since Latrice is an experienced color guard, as seen on All-Stars 4. The story of the Nutcracker is about a girl who befriends a Nutcracker that comes to life on Christmas Eve and wages a battle against the evil Mouse King, or Queen in this case. Latrice would play the little girl who befriends the titular Nutcracker, played by Bisharp, with Cinccino as the evil Mouse Queen. Cinccino is based on a chinchilla rather than a mouse, but it's a rodent nonetheless. How absolutely fitting for a queen whose defining moment on Drag Race was an acting line about nuts. Next we have everyone's favorite meme queen, Jasmine Masters. Coming from Season 7, she would be one of that region's gym leaders. Her first Pokemon is Swirlix, based on her entrance look. When I saw the sparkles on her dress, I thought of the Sugar Plum Fairy, and subsequently the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, which is commonly played during the holiday season. Swirlix is based on cotton candy, and is the closest to a sugary sweet that we have for a Pokemon. Coincidentally, it's also a fairy type, which made absolute sense. Her second Pokemon is a shiny Pineco, based on her non-denominational Christmas runway. This is a wacky take on a holiday look, but I think I understand what she was going for. The dress reminds me of the golden garlands that are typically wrapped around Christmas trees, hence the shiny variation. Pineco is based on a pine cone, found on pine trees, which is the kind of tree used for Christmas. I can imagine Jasmine asking Swirlix to use fairy-type moves to cover the stage with sparkles, while Pineco uses Rapid Spin to spread them around the audience. Now, remember how we talked about the Nutcracker just before? The Sugar Plum Fairy is a part of the second act to that story. It would only make sense for Jasmine's performance to work in tandem with Latrice's, with Swirlix playing the role of the Sugar Plum Fairy, and Pineco as the nut that the Nutcracker is trying to crack. I don't know, I had to look for the spark notes. Gen Z, you can ask a millennial near you what spark notes are. In case you haven't put the pieces quite together, Latrice and Jasmine working together for a performance is a reference for their eventual appearance in All-Stars 4, which, not so coincidentally, has a holiday-themed promo. Mayhaps is because the holiday special aired the week before the first episode of All-Stars 4. The holidays are a fun time, but no holiday party is complete without Mayhem Miller. She's an early out from Season 10, making her one of her home region's gym leaders. Her first Pokemon is Stantler, based on her entrance look. This dress is a simple reference to Santa Claus, or Mrs. Santa Claus, I guess. The story has always been that Santa rides a sleigh, carried forward by his reindeer. And what better Pokemon to give her than Stantler, who is precisely based on a reindeer. Her second Pokemon is Dubwool, based on her non-denominational Christmas runway. Her look is inspired by Krampus, a creepy goat-like creature that is supposed to haunt children during the holidays. Now, Dubwool isn't creepy, it's just a sheep with horns, though sheeps and goats are related species. But Pokemon is a game for kids as the target audience, and Dubwool is simply the closest design we can get to this look. In terms of a performance that could loosely fit this dark theme, I can imagine a choreographed showdown between the two. Stantler playing the role of a hero who saves Christmas from the naughty Dubwool, who would inevitably get the villain edit. The next trainer as part of our Pokemon Showcase is Kimchi, who hails from Season 8. Given the dynamic of her season, she is one of the alternating final gym leaders of her home region. Her first Pokemon is Delibird, based on her non-denominational Christmas runway. Delibird is always used by the Pokemon Company for promotional material during the holiday season. Delibird's signature move is Present, which hurls a present that randomly either damages or heals the target. Kim's runway is made to look like a big pile of presents, which make this a perfect choice. Her second Pokemon is Staryu, based on her entrance look. Kim's look here is made to look like an angel, but there aren't really any angel-like Pokemon. I focused on her headpiece instead, which resembles the shining aura that surrounds angels. That led me to think about Christmas tree toppers, which are often light-up stars, and Staryu is obviously star-shaped. I can imagine her Staryu using Water Gun, then her Delibird using Ice Beam to freeze the water, and Drill Peck to create a sculpture of a Christmas tree. Their performance could end with Staryu at the top like a tree topper, and with Delibird placing presents at the bottom of the ice tree. As Kimchi and her Pokemon step off the stage, the presents would explode with confetti, and Shangela would pop out. Shangela hails from Season 2 of Drag Race, but was brought back for Season 3, which made her the final gym leader from that latter region. Her first Pokemon is Snover, based on her entrance look. Her dress is made to look like a Christmas tree, so the best holiday-themed option was naturally the Frost Tree Pokemon. And her second Pokemon is Galarian Darumaka, based on her non-denominational Christmas runway. She dressed like a snowman for this runway category, of which Galarian Darumaka is inspired by. The puffy shoulders and hips also help to sell this illusion. Both of these choices are pretty straightforward, but what I really enjoy is the synergy that I can imagine between these two in a contest setting. While I was choosing these teams, I read Snover's Pokédex entry for Pokemon Shield, which talks about the berries that grow around its belly and how Galarian Darumaka absolutely love these berries. I can imagine a dance routine where Darumaka chases Snover around for those berries. The dance could end with Darumaka happily eating the berries on top of Snover like a tree topper atop a Christmas tree. Say that 3 times fast. Tree topper atop a Christmas tree, tree topper atop a Christmas tree, tree topper atop a Christmas tree. Fittingly, our final 2 queens in this cast are champion-ranked trainers from their respective All-Star seasons. Let's start with Kylie Sonique Love, whose champion team I've already covered in my All-Star 6 video. She was formerly known as just Sonique before rebranding her drag persona, and is originally from Season 2 of Drag Race, meaning she was formerly a gym leader from that now disbanded Pokémon League. This may peek into some ideas for later videos. I'm borrowing a couple of Pokémon from her champion team. For the purpose of continuing the lore of this series, the members of her team will not be fully evolved. Those 2 Pokemon are Happiny and Togepi, based on her non-denominational Christmas runway. I had a tough time at first thinking of Pokemon for Kylie, but I got creative with this look. She's dressed up like a gingerbread lady, and you need eggs to bake gingerbread cookies. Happiny and Togepi are the 2 Pokemon that came to mind when I think of eggs. The former holds an egg-shaped stone to imitate its evolutionary counterparts, Chansey and Blizzy, while the latter is an actual hatched egg. I can imagine Kylie on stage with her Pokemon showing the audience how to prepare gingerbread cookies. Happiny would absolutely carry the whole oven by itself. and when Happiny goes to grab eggs for the recipe, it grabs Togepi instead as a joke. Baking is a form of art, after all, and I think that would be so fun to see. And our final contestant is the world-renowned superstar Trixie Mattel. She is the winner of All-Stars 3, making her a champion-ranked trainer. Her first Pokemon is a shiny Alolan Vulpix based on her entrance lock. Trixie is wearing a shimmery light pink coat with ruffles around the skirt, cuffs, and hood that easily reminds me of Vulpix's fluffy tails. I kept it unevolved for the cuteness factor that is necessary in Pokemon contests and showcases, plus this shiny Vulpix has a color scheme that's closer to the shimmering pink of Trixie's outfit. Her second Pokemon is Articuno, based on her non-denominational Christmas runway. I typically stray away from legendary Pokemon for these videos, but this particular case really warrants it. She participated in this special just after her All-Stars win, so I followed the idea that I had from my video on the All-Winner season, in which I assigned a legendary to each queen. Articuno is the closest to an angel with a full set of wings that we have, especially considering that it's the only ice and flying type aside from Delibird. I can imagine a bit of a Tobias scenario, like from the anime, but this is a Pokemon Showcase. It's all performance with no real stakes. Trixie would close the show with Vulpix using Powder Snow and Snowscape, or Hail, depending on the generation, on the stage, then having Articuno perform an entertaining acrobatic number with falling bits of snow. And she could do all of that while telling jokes. What did you think of this complete Pokemon Showcase? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more Pokemon content coming your way. Thank you so much for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and as always, I appreciate you being here. Bye!